Okay, and we are live. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Angela Hayes, your CEO and founder, the host of Unique Foundations Enterprise. I am here this evening with our Community Connections broadcast, and we have a phenomenal group that's coming before you. But as always, I like to take a few minutes, a few seconds actually, to give everyone time to come onto the feed, to come into the screen, and also able to share. Go ahead and hit the share button. Share this video with your friends, your family, so that everyone can see it. So we have a few seconds. Everybody go ahead and share this live stream with your friends and family. Can everyone mute their mic, please? Okay. I need some feedback. Thank you. And we just give a few seconds and then we're going to get started. Was everyone able to share the video?
I'm still looking for it on your Facebook page. I don't see it.
Are you on my personal page or are you on the Unique Foundation?
I'm on the Unique Foundation, but it's a family legacy presented by Unique Foundations.
Okay.
I don't see it.
Refresh your screen. It should
Okay.
be.
Let me do that. Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay, I'm gonna share it now.
Okay, great. Okay. And y'all just give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Right, thank you. All right. All right, we're ready to rock and roll. This is Angela Hayes again, the host of Community Connections here at Unique Foundations, where we enrich, empower, and educate individuals on their life journey purpose. We are super excited to welcome you to this broadcast that we have actually taken the time to just kind of do our homework on this final expense, and we're so excited to share this information with you. But I have a group here today. First of all, I would like for those of you that have joined the live feed that are here, go ahead and hit that share button. Go ahead and share this video with your friends and your family. They do not want to miss this information. We have some valuable information that we want to share with you. And after this information is shared, I encourage you highly to take action, because as we know in our society now, we are dealing with a pandemic called COVID-19. And if COVID-19 have not taught us some valuable lessons as far as being prepared, having our affairs in order, having our business taken care of, I guarantee you, after you hear these professionals here today, you will want to take action. So again, Angela Hayes is asking you here at Unique Foundations, hit that share button, share this information. People that you love, people that you care about, you do not want them to miss it. You want them to be able to take advantage of what we have here to offer you today. Okay, so I would like to introduce to you a phenomenal lady that I met a few years ago. I had the pleasure of meeting her at an event, and she is super, 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 super. And she is a professional. She is a woman of God. She is someone that has a passion for helping individuals take care of their business, as we first stated. So she is a musician, she's a songstress, she's all of that. She is here to introduce to you today the team that she has a pleasure of working with. And they are called the Quiet Storm Group. And I'm here myself to learn a lot of information from them as well. But they are final expense specialists that can get you started, they can get you set up, and they can save you thousands of dollars. So who doesn't want to save money? Some of you have lost employment. Some of you have been furloughed. Whatever your situation has been, we have individuals here today that can help you plan for the future, for your family, and plan with that end in mind. So I would like to introduce to you today my friend, Miss Dolores Floyd. Miss Dolores, you may go ahead and take your mic off of mute, please. Just hit that mute button. If I can unmute her. Miss Dolores, can you hear me?
Good evening, good evening, good evening to everyone. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud
Can y'all hear
and
me?
clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But first of all, I want to thank Miss. Okay, I want to thank Angela Hayes for giving us this opportunity information each and every one out there. I just want to thank our team, our Quiet Storm Final Expense Group, for being with me, Pastor Charles, Minister Georgia Tollington, Minister Todd Jackson, Jarrell Washington, William Sparrow, and I believe we have someone else that might be on this as Bryant Acker. But right now, I want to let you guys, we are all licensed insurance agents building a legacy. And I'm real excited because we have such great information to share with you. Now, as you know, final expense, we are final expense specialists, means that we specialize in final expense. And you might ask the question, well, what is final expense? I'm glad you asked. Final expense is a policy, a small policy that basically take care of your burial, small bills or medical bills, taxes of some that nature. And most of all, we let you know that you don't have to touch your whole life policy because that's one of our goals. We're here to protect your policy. We're here to make sure that we be able to have your family have their policy and not to be touched. But without further ado, I'm not going to speak. I'm going to let some of our great leaders, our first leader that's going to speak to us is Pastor Claude Charles. He's going to come and talk to us about the uniqueness of policy versus other policy and the family program. I want to turn it over to Minister Pastor Charles.
All
Yes,
right,
yes.
Dolores, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you, guys. So, Angela, first of all, thank you for allowing us to come on. Again, I am Pastor Claude Charles, and I am part of the Quiet Storm. I am super happy to be a part of this group, first and foremost. But secondly, I am glad that we are in a position to help our community. And that's the biggest piece to it all. We want to start there. There's a uniqueness in the policies that we have. But the underlying factor, the thing that all of us draw from, is the fact that we have an opportunity to help our community, and that's where we draw all of the different things that we do. So as far as the uniqueness of the policy, there's three different things that I really like about the policy out of all the uniqueness of it. But the first thing is the ability for one policy to really be turned into a family policy. With our flagship product, we have the ability to not only take care of one person in the household, but to actually bring family members on for free. Don't have time to get into it today, but once you contact us later, we'll definitely tell you how you can make that happen. Very big piece in helping our community get in position to be prepared for that time when we know that all of us have. Right. The second piece of uniqueness that our product has, the flagship policy product, is that you have the ability to save tremendous amounts, up to 80% on your funeral expenses. We have a concierge service that comes with our product that allows for the beneficiaries to have a specific person in our group that goes in and actually negotiates your prices for you. Huge. The average funeral right now is about $12,000. And to have somebody to go in on the worst day of your life, when a family member passes, that person goes in and speaks on your behalf. And so huge uniqueness there. The last one I'd like to talk about is the fact that you have, with this particular product, you stay in control. And what do I mean by that? Your family member has the ability to write down and declare everything that they want to happen about that day. So when you call our company, we'll know exactly what your family member wants. Second of all, we'll know exactly what we need to translate to the funeral home of your choice. And so those are the three unique things that our flagship product actually brings to the table to help our community. Dolores, are you there?
I am. I really appreciate that, Pastor. If you don't mind giving them your name once again and your phone number.
Absolutely. It is, again, Pastor Claude Charles. Telephone number is 832-741-5150. Again, that's Claude Charles. 832-741-5150.
Awesome. Thank you, Pastor Charles. You did an outstanding job. Our next speaker will be Mr. Jarrell Washington, going to talk to us a little bit about term and life policies, insurance policies. Mr. Jarrell, it's in your hands. Thank you, Pastor Charles. You did an outstanding job. Our next speaker will be Mr. Jarrell Washington, going to talk to us a little bit about. Unmute your line.
Unmute Mr. Jarrell, your microphone. See if I can unmute it. There you go.
Okay. This technology today is exciting.
Yeah, it's all good.
We're going to talk to you today about whole life, the difference between whole life and term life. Just want to let you know that Mist and salesmen come by and they sell us all different types of products. But here's what I need you to know before I explain about whole life and term life. It's one thing to have insurance. It's another thing to know what you got. And we need to all know what we have. It's another thing to know how it's structured. So many times we have different types of products. And then it's another thing to know if your policy is updated. You can have all of these, all the other steps. And I had an instance just recently. A lady passed away, and they didn't know where her policy was. And that's the sad part, because not knowing what the policy is it's just like not having insurance. And then everything can go sideways when that takes place. If you have one beneficiary and that beneficiary dies, all the money goes to the state. Normally, you would get this policy tax free, and that's the beautiful thing about final expense. Whole life. Let me explain about it. Let's go ahead and talk about whole life. Whole life is going to be a policy that's going to build cash value. Sometimes it's in fact, whole life is a little bit more expensive than term life, but you're going to get more benefits from having a whole life policy. You're going to be able to borrow against those policies if need be down the line as your policy continues to build. You also, with our particular program, you're not going to, your price is going to have a price lock. Your prices are going to be locked in. You never have to worry about them going up. You hear all those commercials on television, but we bring something extra special to the table. Term is for working age folk who are between 30 and about 50. And that's to protect your, if you got a mortgage or you got car notes, you don't want to leave your family in dire straits. Term is good, but the only thing about term, it ends. And at the point that the term ends, the prices are going to go up. They can be a 20-year term or a 30-year term. But if as you age, your problem is going to be that those prices are going to be just outrageous, and those folks that are on fixed incomes are really going to have a problem. But in closing, we want you to know that this is a serious issue today. We need to take care of our families. That's the whole purpose. And right now, timing is perfect because if you don't have COVID-19, you're going to get a lower premium rate. Insurance companies have already made an adjustment upward. If you have COVID-19, what would normally cost you $29 is going to cost you $100 for the same amount of premium. So take advantage of this moment and all the great speakers that are coming after me to realize that you're in a position right now to take care of your family. That's all I got. Y'all be blessed.
Awesome. Thank you. We do have a question.
Also, Mr. Jarrell. Okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Lewis, Jarrell, I'm not sure when you were talking, this question may be for you. We do have a question. Someone's asking, does this cover cremation?
Yes, it does. The policy that we have covers cremation. And Apostle Charles alluded to the fact that we not only negotiate the price, I can tell you from personal experience. I had a gentleman who only had his policy for 3 months. And the company that we are associated with negotiated a price. The funeral home wanted $6,000. And some people want a viewing and they want the cremation. So they want the ceremony and the cremation. That requires, it's going to be some things that the funeral home is going to want. They're going to require them to rent a casket, which runs about $1,500 or maybe a little bit more, depends on the size of the person. Also, let me finish. They negotiated the price from $6,000 down to $3,100. Cremations are being looked at just like a regular funeral, a traditional funeral. The only thing is the body doesn't leave the funeral home, or it doesn't leave the sanctuary. Cremations are being looked at.
Thank you.
Thank you, Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Jarrell. If you don't mind, please give your name again and telephone number. It's real slow. Jarrell?
Mr. Lord, you talking to me?
Jarrell?
Yeah, this is Jarrell Washington.
Can you hear me?
My number is 832-208-8730. 832-208-8730.
Thank you, Mr. Jarrell. Mr. Loris. Mr. Loris.
Dolores, can you hear us?
She's on freeze. Okay.
Thank you very much. Excellent.
Mr. Loris, I'm getting every other word from you.
I
Okay.
believe I'm next, Angela.
Okay, great.
Good evening. This is Minister Georgia Tarleton. Thank you so much, Angela, for having us here today.
You're welcome.
And my part on the program today is to bring up our veterans. The veterans are very special to us because they have sacrificed so much for us here in America and even other countries and around the world. They have given so much of themselves, and we want to salute them today and also let them know that they are special to us. And so often in final expense, when we come in contact with a veteran, they don't know that all their services is not already paid for. They think that the government furnishes all, but they do not. What the government provides for all the veterans is a plot, a marker, and a flag. Now, there may be in some very special cases that their services are paid completely, but majority no, is not paid completely. So we'd like to inform our veterans today that they do need to make sure that they have a final expense in place. And final expense protects any life insurance policies that they may have. And we want them to know today that they're very special to us and that services can be held at the VA. And it is a scheduled time slot that you do use. It's like 30 minutes. And also the spouse, the deceased, the spouse of the deceased veteran can also be buried in the VA. Now they do have the option to opt out of that. They can be buried in another cemetery, but I want them to know that those options are available to the veterans, and that the veterans also, their spouse do receive a little compensation. It was uh, recently changed. It used to be $786 that the spouse would receive, but now I understand it's been changed to $300, and that takes like up from 1 to 3 months to receive. And so that's what I would like to bring out about the veterans. So to put them away in honor, because so often they don't know that they don't have everything in place, and the loved ones, they come to that point when it's time, because that is a time when that's an appointment you can't cancel, an appointment that you can't reschedule, because that is the only way that we leave this world is that we die, we transition from here. So we want to make sure our veterans have the ability to be put away in honor, because they deserve that honor, to make sure everything is in place for them. Thank you so much. And again, my name is Minister Georgia Charlton. My phone number is 832-343-3205. Again, my number is 832-343-3205. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Georgia, for sharing that about our veterans.
I think Mr. Sparrow is next. We'll go with our TRS.
Am I next?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like to bring up the fact that a lot of people who have insurance with their companies, and especially that have government benefits or death benefits that they think they're covered. We just recently ran into a problem with that most government or federal or state employees that do have a death benefit, 9 times out of 10, they do not have an insurance policy. It is a Roth IRA or it could be a 401k,
Mhm.
which is not assignable to funeral homes. So that means that the individual will have to wait for their money. That actually the individual has to wait for the beneficial package, which takes 10 to 14 days. Then they have to wait for the death certificate to send in to the state agency, which it takes another 30 to 45 days. And once it reaches the state agency, it takes another 10 to 14 days from the process it. Once they process it, it's going to take another 10 to 14 days to receive the actual funds. Now, when they receive the actual funds, if they're unless they are 59 and one half of age, they will not have to pay no taxes. But if they're younger than 59 and a half, they'll have to pay 10 to 20% of taxes on the death benefit. So if you have a $10,000 death benefit and you got to pay 20%, that means you're actually only going to get $8,000. $2,000 have to go the to the government, to the IRS. Now, where we can bridge that gap is with the final expense. With a final expense, we can do really a good benefit and a reasonable price. And if you with a final expense a minimum of 2 years, and once you put a claim in, you can receive your money from 24 to 72 hours without a death certificate. This is vital to a family that has to give money immediately to the funeral home. And why this is vital, because then you don't have to assign the funds to the funeral home, where an actual additional cost is added when you assign your insurance policy to a funeral home, which many people do not know. So if you have any questions, you'll be free to give me a call. My name is William Sparrow, like the bird. My number is 832-489-7999. My number again is 832-489-7999. I'm with Acadia Insurance Agency.
Mr. Sparrow, do you mind repeating that number again?
Yeah, my number again is 832-489-7999.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Mr. Lewis is coming back in.
I guess, Todd, is your turn.
Okay, I'm here to close it out. Again, Angela, thank you for putting this platform together for us to provide this information, because this information is critical. I've been in the ministry 20 some years, and I've had to bury people and go through that experience, which is traumatic for a lot of people. And I just like to let our people know that GoFundMe is not a good option.
No.
And
Thank you.
oftentimes,
Thank you.
that's
Thank
what
you.
in some cases we're faced with a GoFundMe situation. So I think this information is critical. Uh, there needs to be a sense of urgency to get this out, because I haven't seen a product like this. You know, when Dolores introduced me to this product and told me about, hey, you can lock in the funeral merchandise, a casket for $1,500, tombstones, bought for total of $3,700. Say, hey, if nothing else, I got to get into this to be able to teach my people and show them how they can benefit from it. Because to me, the beauty and the thing that's powerful is to be able to leave your children's children with something. You know,
you.
it's unfortunate that every generation is starting over, and that's what we don't want to happen.
Right.
We don't want, my children, I want them to be in a better position than I was. My grandchildren need to be in a better position than my children. So we can start with this product, because dying is expensive. There's a price to dying. You know, a lot of people think when you die it's over,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
you're either gonna have a traditional funeral or you're gonna be cremated. And whatever you do, it's gonna cost the loved ones that you left behind. So I say be considerate, be mindful, honor them in a way that you took care of your business. So you can either catch me or anyone on this platform, but you can catch me at 713-962-7491. And again, Ms. Angela, I want to thank you for putting this platform together.
Angela, but
Thank
before we go, I think it's one thing we kind of missed to let the people know too,
you.
that we actually can do people who had strokes, who's have cancer, who's in nursing homes, have any type of ailment. We can write them a final expense policy at a very reasonable price. And of course, it's going according to age and your health. But regardless of what your situation is, this is an insurance program where that regardless of what your health issue is, we can insure you. And I think that needs to be really expressed more than anything, that people don't realize. Because I know I've written to quite a few people who've not been accepted by various different types of insurance companies, but this particular product that we have, you can be written up and be insured.
That's awesome, Mr. Sparrow.
And Angela, I'd like to say something as well, if you don't mind, before we go. Miss Sparrow is right. I actually personally have written up or had policies drawn on people that have HIV. And so whatever your medical condition is, we can help. The other thing is a lot of the things that we find as traditional insurance companies will decline you for, this particular product will allow you to come aboard. The age right now is up to 85, whereas more traditional types of insurances will have you will stop at about 75. And so not only are we giving the best price, but we're giving the best opportunity to actually have a policy.
Yeah. So if you have a loved one out there that hasn't been written up, it could be a grandmother, it could be a father or a mother that's of age.
And so not only are we giving the best price, but we're giving the best opportunity.
We can still bring harmony to the family where it's not emotional or financial stress during that time of need.
And that's awesome. I appreciate you, Mr. Sparrow, Mr. Charles, for sharing that because I do have a family member. My mom is a twice breast cancer survivor. So she was able to get insured with your company. So I know that what you all are saying is definitely true. And I also wanted to chime in on what Mr. Todd Jackson was saying. I totally agree with you, Mr. Jackson, and all of you here about GoFundMe is not the way to go. It is not the route.
Absolutely.
I have a passion to see individuals take care of their final expenses, their living wills, the living trust, to get those things in order, because you are actually doing your family a favor. It actually shows that how much you really care for them. And as you said, like the word of God said, we want to leave an inheritance for our children, our children's children. And how will we do that? We're going to plan now. We're going to take action now. So I encourage everyone that's on this stream, that's on this broadcast, that you connect with these professionals that can help you and to save you. I'll go back to the top. About saving thousands of dollars. I think that was you, Mr. Charles, talking about 80%. That's a big savings because we know what happens when individuals go into the funeral homes, when you're in a vulnerable state. And a lot of times you're taken advantage of in your weaknesses.
Right.
So these are the type of professionals that you want to connect with, the individuals that are looking out for your best interest, that will save you and your family tons of money in the future. And also, again, do your family a favor. Plan now. Plan ahead. Mr. Jackson, if I could get you to repeat your phone number.
Okay. Phone number is 713-962-7491. That's 713-962-7491.
Thank you so much. And I think, Mr. Charles, I did not get to type in your contact information as well on the feed. Would you please be so kind to repeat that again?
Absolutely. It is 832-741-5150. Again, 832-741-5150.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, gentlemen. And Miss Tarleton, Miss Dolores, I know she is wrapping it up. Apparently, she is really having some connection technical difficulties there. So she's coming back in. Miss Dolores, can you
Yes.
hear us? Miss Dolores, can you hear us?
I know she is. Can you hear me?
Keep talking. Were you coming in?
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We hear you now.
Yes. Yes.
I hear you.
Okay. It's on you now, Miss Dolores. You got to close us out.
I don't think she's having difficulties.
Anyone else would like to add? Feel free. This is a platform that you can just flow in what you already know that the people need out there. Again, feel free to share this valuable information. I know that it's great, and I want to just kind of give my personal story, my personal testimony as far as getting this in place for my life. I am Miss Dolores got me hooked up. So as y'all know, that's why we're here today. Miss Dolores got me in order.
Great.
So when she began to share the information with me, I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. I didn't. I said, is this real? Because the benefits, the savings,
Absolutely.
and in the event of anything happening to me
Yes.
early, I'm single, so I believe I want to just kind of make that announcement too to those of you that are single. You need to get your affairs in order as well, okay?
Definitely.
Because there's somebody, if you're not, a spouse to anybody before you leave this earth, that's gonna have to take care of your business. So you want to make sure you get that in order. She got me taken care of, and like I said, I was surprised. I could not believe it was real at first. But knowing Miss Dolores, she's a woman of honesty, integrity, and
Yes.
credibility. I knew she was telling me the truth, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So,
Angela, I'm
Absolutely.
sure some of the things that she would want to close out with is points of, at that time you have up to about 125 decisions that you have to make in that situation. The
yes, sir.
worst scenario in your life, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister has passed, and now you have to make these decisions in the midst of what's going on.
Right.
And so what we aim to do, all of us are community leaders, is really what's going on. And as community leaders, we want to take those decisions off the table for you.
Yes.
In that particular scenario, trying to gather all the documents, trying to make all the decisions, having the pressure of talking to the funeral home, all those different things are already taken care of. And that's the biggest piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
What can we do? What is the biggest impact we can bring to the community with this product? And taking 125 decisions off the table in that scenario, that's the biggest impact that we can possibly have. And you were talking about bringing things together or having things in place. What this policy does is actually act as a bridge, because we have just as many policyholders that have already had insurance in place that understand that this is a bridge. One of the things that Mr. Sparrow brought out was the timeline of what a traditional insurance has as far as paying out those benefits. If you're thinking 60 days out, the GoFundMe actually looks like an option because you have family members that have not had the opportunity to put something in place to take care of that event. Well, with these policies, again, on average, anywhere from 24 to 72 hours, that money or that benefit is provided.
Yes.
I have a personal experience where we, as a minister, of course, again, you know, as Dr. Todd mentioned, I actually have a personal friend of mine that actually preached a sermon or facilitated a funeral without a body, because the family was not able to come up with the entire amount to give to the funeral home. The funeral home held the body.
Wow.
We had the service, went to the actual burial site, and by that time the money had been put in their hands, and they met us at the burial site. But those horror stories are there.
Yes. Yes.
So this particular product brings us into a position where, you know, we can take care of that situation. Understanding that, as you were mentioning, you know, leaving an inheritance for our family. Not only does the policy take care of that event, but it could possibly have monies left over for the family, because we, as we mentioned before, there are bills that are left after you die. You not only have an expense to die, you have expenses that are left over. So what if you have a family member that you know, yeah, they were able to come up with the money for the funeral, but what about the light bill that has to be paid? What about the medical expenses that have to be paid? What about all the things that are still left out there that have to be taken care of?
Yes, sir.
And so this particular product and some other products that we have, it really bridges that gap and gives the community the biggest impact that we can possibly give to them.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for all those valuable points. And I'm just thinking about everything that you all have touched on. Mr. Sparrow, I know what you're saying. I'm a local government employee. So that was another reason why I went ahead. I didn't question it. I went ahead and took it, because what if I'm not even working there? You know, I plan to be, because I plan on living forever, right?
Yeah, but you know, the other point I want to bring out too, even if you do have an insurance policy, and let's say it might be $50, $100, or $200,000 policy, that is not a policy you want to give to the funeral home.
Thank you.
This is the policy that you want to actually give to the funeral home, just for final expenses, because what people don't realize is once they get that policy in their hand, it's like free money to them. Then everything changes. The plans changes, the prices changing. They going for the gusto.
Right.
With this, it puts them in place where it kind of like gives them a guideline. Okay, well, we can't go no further than this. This is what is in hand, and that way you can say that policy for your family that you have, you know, have in place for you, and that funeral home won't touch it. And a whole lot of people don't realize that funeral homes are in business. Now, it might be an emotional situation for you, but it's a business to them.
Yes.
And a lot of people, and this policy, I mean, this insurance plan that we have puts a stopgap to that. And then we make it, there's a business to us too. So that's another thing that we need to bring out to the people. Like, hey, you need this, as the brother Charles was saying, as a stopgap. So everybody knows that, hey, this is the policy that you really need to have in place to take care of your business while everybody else is being emotional about it.
Right. Absolutely. There's one question in the feed. She's asking, Miss Joyce Kaufman is asking, is there a grace period? Does anybody know?
Is there a grace period for the insurance policy, or is there a grace period for payment of the policy? Which one is she asking?
Miss Joyce Kaufman, if you're still there, can you clarify your question as far as grace period? I'm not sure if she's still there, but we'll give her time to clarify if she is.
Well, I'll give her two scenarios. If you have the policy 2 years or more, the policy, if there's a claim, the policy will pay it for 24 to 72 hours. If the policy is paid less than 2 years, it takes approximately 30 days to get your claim for your policy. Because most insurance companies have what they call a 2-year contestability, where they have to they can contest the insurance policy if you haven't paid for it less than 2 years. And regardless of that, most insurance companies, well, I'm gonna say about all insurance companies, even after 2 years, it's still gonna take 30 to 60 days, according to how fast you can get your death certificate get paid anyway.
Absolutely.
With this policy, You can get paid from 24 to 72 hours after the 2-year contestability. That's what's really important.
Mhm.
And that way you don't have to assign the policy to the funeral home. You actually have control of the money. And that's what people don't understand.
That's
So
a very big piece.
yeah, I hope I covered that place where she's asking about grace period.
Yes, I hope so too. She hadn't responded. Um, Mr. Jarrell, I like the information that you shared. I remember in my early days as working, whole life versus term was always a uh, trying to choose which one, coming into the employment. But, as time has progressed, I understood. But I think that is one of the things, too, we have struggled with trying to make that decision as far as whole life versus term life. Would, do you have any final comments on those two variables? Not sure if Mr. Jarrell.
I don't think he can hear you.
Does anybody want to add to that?
Well, the term policy is exactly what it means. It means
And
just
we didn't
term.
even cover one of the
There you go. Can you hear?
other. Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Brother Jarrell.
Go ahead, Jarrell. Okay.
Brother Jarrell, can you hear us?
Jarrell?
Absolutely. The when you're younger, you do as well, but as you get older, exactly, and it's going to end. So what we want to do is just move forward. Proprietary, our proprietary product also covers 4 other family members with discounted merchandise, so that you don't have to worry about how you're going to pay for a. And when you walk into that funeral, taking you into a room, because the normal reason you go to the funeral home is to pick out the casket for your family members. And they're going to take you to the highest price casket. The caskets have ranged anywhere from $10,000 to $2,100. 18 steel gauge caskets. We have over 250 different ones to choose from. They come in wood grain. They come in steel. They come. I mean, the caskets that we have. What's the name? Aretha Franklin. We have couch caskets, and they are state of the art, first class. You're gonna love them. And if you're overweight, you know those. That's the
Mm-hmm.
Lord. If you come to the funeral home
Mm-hmm.
and you tell me you're overweight, oh man, that's the extra $5,000 for me. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. But we take care of you. As an overweight person, you don't have to spend that money. $1,500. You're gonna get the headstone. You're gonna get the casket. You're gonna get the vault, and you're gonna be in a position that your family. The number one thing is you're gonna know your family is taken care of. The
Yeah.
objective, we are in a situation where we must move ahead, arranging our funerals ahead of time. Expert specialist in reviewing your current policies. The
Mm-hmm.
reason being, many people don't even have an idea of what type of policies they have. You might have
Yeah.
accidental only. We're going to arrange because we could take you when you get us for life. We're going to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that your affairs are in order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Understanding if you got a universal policy or you got a variable policy, we're going to make sure you have exactly what you need. And what we do is like Mr. Sparrow said, we add to your policy. Don't take $100,000 policy to the funeral home.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Charles, Ms. Taunton, Mr. Jackson, we're going to make sure, Ms. Dolores Floyd, we're going to make sure that you are covered. We love people that's already got insurance. If
Yes.
you have insurance, we're going to help protect that insurance.
Yes,
Be sure to call us.
yes, please do. Thank
In
you so much.
closing.
I think you were asking him about the difference between term and the final expense. What people don't understand is term policy is just it's a temporary policy. It's like you renting a car. Eventually, you got to turn that car in. That's exactly the same thing with term. Term is only for short term, and you only can get term up to approximately 60 years old. After 60, you really can't get term because term normally stops at the age of 75 or 80 years old, and term starts at 10 to 15 or 20 years. There's no cash value in term. There's no cash value in term. There's only a time benefit in term, whereas in the final expense, there's no term. And you also accumulate cash value in your final expense policy. And the final expense is for to the time you die, basically. So there's a big difference. Yes, term is cheap, but it's just like renting a car. You got to turn it back in eventually.
That's a good one. Thank you so much for sharing that. Mr. Jackson, did you have any last comments?
No, ma'am. I'm just glad to be a part of this program, to be able to offer it to our people,
Yes.
because uh, our people perish because of lack of
Lack of
information.
knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So this is definitely it. So again, just thank you for the platform.
Thank you.
And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you having me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you being here. Miss Georgia, did you have any last comments?
No, we're just excited to be here tonight because we're excited about people. We love people. And like they were all saying, we want to be able to help our people,
Yes.
be a positive impact in the community. Because, like Reverend Jackson had said, people perish for the lack of knowledge. So when
Yes.
you know better, you can do better. So we stress that a lot to go ahead and make your arrangement so you can save that family love between the family because that is a critical time because if you leave them stressed out, nothing in place, so they're stressed out, they losing their loved one, and then they have to deal with uh, getting the funds to be able to bury you. So that is very hard. So you're leaving them with a very emotional impact on them. So to save that love and to be remembered, that you love them and they loved you,
Yes.
get everything in order. It's so we need to value love because God
Yes.
is love. And so we should love each other. So if we love our family, love our people, we'll put things in place and save them that stress and all of that because it's very unnecessary. So keep the love in the family, protect your family, leave a legacy because that is biblical. Leave a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Anyone else would like to say anything in our closing? I'm I'm so glad and I'm so grateful for you all for accepting this opportunity to come and share with us here at Unique Foundations Enterprise, where we educate, enrich, and empower the lives of individuals on their life's journey. Again, to our audience, to our viewers, those of you that have had questions, Ms. Kaufman said, Mr. Sparrow, that her question was answered. So
Okay.
we did answer her question, so that's great. I encourage you, if you have any more questions, you want to know more about how you can get your policies, how you can put things in place. The information
Excuse
for
me.
every specialist is here on the feed. Please take down their names and their phone numbers. I want to say a special thank you to Miss Dolores Floyd. I know
Yes.
having technical difficulties, but nevertheless, she helped brought all this together. The Quiet Storm Group, I love y'all name too.
Thank
Quiet
you.
storm.
Yeah. So, and actually, when we think about what has happened and what's happening in our nation, it is a storm.
It is.
But God has prepared you all, and you
Oh,
all
Miss
have
Pepper.
taken the time to invest in yourself and become educated, and you're valuable to the community. that you can help individuals put their life in order. God
Yes.
is a God of order, you
Yes, he
know.
is.
So, and He wants us, and He's not just talking about our houses, our physical houses. He's talking about our finances. He's talking about our families. He's talking about
Yes.
our future. He's
Yes.
talking
Yes.
about every aspect of our
Every.
lives. And we
Right.
as a
That's it.
people need to know how vital and important this is for getting these things taken care of. Make yourself a goal this week to all our viewers. Reach out. Do not procrastinate. Do not hesitate. Do not think about it twice. Whatever questions, more questions that you have, reach out to them. Get your questions answered so you
Yes.
can go ahead and put your policies in place. Again, I say thank you to each and every one of you. I appreciate you for taking the time for coming on this platform of community connection. And those of you who are not, is your first time here on this platform or here on these live feeds with us. This is something that God has placed on my heart to help educate our communities and to bring information and professionals, those that are experts in their industry, to share with you and give you vital information that will help you in your life. So I encourage you to follow this page. You can go to our page and also join our mailing list. You can go when you go to the page on the left hand side. If you're on your laptop, hit join my list, and you will receive emails of any upcoming events we have going on. We have something else coming on. We'll have another professional that's coming up. Will be one of our attorneys that will be joining us. So stay connected. Stay connected here. And again, I'm I thank you for being here tonight. So everyone stay safe, stay prayerful. We're in a time now in
Yes.
our society that we need to stay prayerful and we need to stay connected with one another, okay? Because as Miss
Okay.
Carson said, God is love. So we are sharing here tonight because we love you and we care
Yes.
for you and we're concerned about your welfare. You can also contact us here at Unique Foundations. Our phone number is 979 661 1124. Again, you can follow this page. Also, you can connect with me on my personal page, Angelia Hayes. Again, I say thank you to our guests and to Miss Floyd for who brought all this together. I appreciate you for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you all once again. Blessings on you all. Make sure you stay safe, but most of all, stay prayerful.
Thank
Thank
You as
you.
well,
you.
Angela. Good night.
Thank you. Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.